Today I would like to talk about escapism. Now, escapism is the tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. This is probably an old man comment, but when I was young, I never heard of that word. And actually, I didn't hear about escapism until probably the last couple of years or so, maybe longer. But what I always called it was kind of a vacation, a mental vacation from reality. And usually what I call vacation is just watching a good movie. For some people, it's a good book, but for myself, I like to read, so I like to watch a good movie or a show to escape from, hour and a half, 2 hours, even 3 hours, depends on the movie. To have a little bit of a breathe from reality of what's going on in the world. In my humble opinion, I think escapism is healthy, but I wouldn't live there because that's when you do not take your responsibilities after the credits roll. I think it's healthy to get away for a hot minute, to gather your thoughts, to breathe for a moment, and be able to get back on the horse and try it again. And this is thing that we all know. This is not, sensitive information, but this is something I like to talk about. And this kind of relates to movies. And in current day, in movie reviews, people are very passionate about movies. And it seems like if you do not like a movie, or if you don't hate a movie, you're an outcast. Now, I don't understand that, to be honest with you, but I do understand why people can be passionate about certain movies or genres or IPs, because they have grew up on those all their life. They love these characters, even though they're fictional. They love these stories, even though they're not real. But they done something for them. It helps them to escape from their life for a hot minute. To not run away, but help them pause their current life to enjoy the story of Star Wars, or a good story of Indiana Jones, or whatever the genres that you love. And this is the beauty about Hollywood, that they've kind of lost the plot, pun intended, with escapism. Because in my humble opinion, the last 5-6 years, when you watch a movie, you get preached at of how bad you are, or something that you're not interested in. It's about a message instead of a story. And that's unfortunate, because we want to just be told a good story. It don't have to be all CGI, a fest. It can be a good story with less money, but more character development. Less money, but a great story. That's what we all want, because if we go to a movie forking out a lot of money for popcorn and a soda to watch a movie in theaters, we have to take a loan out, as we all know. But if we have a good story that's great and then we love it, it's worth the price of admission. But the problem is, like I said a moment ago, we're not getting that. And if we're not getting that, we'll just quit going. We'll quit watching. And then we'll go on YouTube and talk about how bad it is. And Hollywood thinks that we're toxic, that we hate everything they do. No, we just want good stories. Like, again, it's good to have escapism once in a while, but don't live there. But Hollywood will not ever understand the fans. Now, when I say Hollywood, I'm not saying everybody. There are some production companies over the time make some good movies, and that's the ones that I try to seek out and talk about in my movies, the reviews. But the main AAA ones get all the views and talks, and that's Disney or Warner Brothers and all that. And that's fine, dandy, but for myself, I talk about that as too. But I always like to elevate the ones that really can tell they put the effort into making a good story. There's no messaging built in. There's nothing to tell you how bad you are. They just want you to go along with the journey of that story of that character. And that's an amazing feeling. When you're digging a movie or a show and you relate to the characters and you love these characters, or you love the environment these characters are, or you love the humor or the engagement of dialogue. There's a lot of things in a movie just takes you away for a hot minute what you're going through. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, my mom and dad divorced, right? And just like at that time, when all my friends' mom and dad was going through divorce, I never thought mine would, right? But that day did come. And it definitely hit me like a ton of bricks, as they would say. And I remember the day vividly. I closed up the door, I turned on the TV, and I cried like a big baby. Because I did not understand why this is happening. I don't know whose fault it is. I just didn't want two people that I love leaving each other. But to my surprise, when I looked on the TV, one of my favorite movies appeared on the screen. And that was the movie Friday with Ice Cube, Chris Tucker. I probably watched this movie 100 times. And this time, it actually was there at the right time in my life. Because my soul was crushed of the news of my mom and dad divorcing, but I started smiling and laughing at the story once again. Even though I've watched it 100 times, it just gave me relief for a hot minute. Now, of course, after the credits roll, I was very thankful for that moment. And that's the reason I still remember it to this day. But I knew after the credits roll, I had to rise up and face the day. And that's what I did. And here I am today to tell you that I made it through. But that's a powerful tool of escapism. And like I said, it don't have to be movies, but that's my thing. Movies is something I might not be able to break it down like some people on YouTube can do, but I can enjoy it. I can say I love that story. And some movies and shows to this day, I actually can use my imagination. Very few can do that, but there's only a couple that I've actually thought about. It's like, man, that'd be cool if I can do that. Where would I go? And that's an amazing thing to do, is just you think about, man, what would I do if I had that opportunity, right? And that's what's a beautiful thing about Hollywood or entertainment, is that perspective. Because you can be able to it's kind of like buying a lottery ticket. If you won a lottery ticket, what would you do? It's just amazing to think and dream about that. The chances are never going to happen, but it's good to dream. I think it's healthy to dream once in a while, but don't live there. Don't, go out and go in debt to buy a lottery ticket, but just buy one and just think about what if. I'm going all over the place about this video about escapism, but I really just want to talk about how it's missed in this modern day movies. That we just want a good story to enjoy for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that we can, after the credits roll, we can sit back and like, man, that was a good movie, and it still sticks with you longer. To always talk about how I review movies, if it's a convenience store experience or a sit-down restaurant experience. And if you're new here, the reason I say that is because I've been to sit-down restaurants that I was like, wow, that was a pretty good experience. I probably won't be able to go again because it's too expensive, but it was a good experience. That's how I feel with some movies. It's super great, but I just, I don't appreciate it, the great story, but it's just too much going on. But on the same side, though, it sticks with you longer. Now, some movies, too, they might not be a big budget, but they are really good quality, like a good old, I would say a local mom and pop kind of restaurant that you definitely go back to support them. More so than a corporate restaurant, if that makes sense. And this life goes by so quickly, and people get so bent out of shape with movies and shows. And I sit back and I just shake my head like, I don't know what people's doing. Why they're so passionate. But at the end of the day, I know why. Because they love that movie. Sometimes probably too much, because if they go after certain people, which I'm not for, they should not, but they use their platforms or social media to give their opinions about certain IPs. It's just unfortunate that Hollywood thinks that we are toxic. No, we're just fans. We just wanting good stories. And they'll never understand why we are so passionate about movies, because they just make them. They don't really understand them, which I understand why, because I'll give you an example. Harrison Ford, he just goes to show up for a paycheck. He don't understand how powerful Star Wars was and is to fans. He understands there are fans for Star Wars, but I guess he never understands. Now, he is a fan of airplanes. He has many of them. He flies them. He's a fan of airplanes. He probably understands the aircraft, the ins and outs of it, and he's a fan of that. But for me and you, we can understand that. You see what I'm saying? And other people, or Hollywood, is the same way. Now, some actors and directors and writers understand, and they are currently fans as well. But a lot of times they get drowned out by the major media, talking heads of media. But I still have hope that there are still fans of whatever you might be a fan of, Star Wars or WB or Warner Brothers, whatever. But the thing is, in closing of this long video, is, again, escapism is needed in this life. More now than ever before, because of the things that we see in the last couple weeks. But the thing is, it's good to escape to a movie or show, but don't live there. As the credits roll, stand up and take on the day, because you will get through it. We all will get through it. Just know that it's good to have a little bit of a mental vacation once in a while and get back to the grind of going through this world and trying to figure out what life is all about. All right, I'm done for the day, and I'll talk to you later.